Welcome to the DL Gaming Podcast. Today we're going to be talking about Traveler's Rest, Supervive, and Mass Effect. Mass Effect, a game you've never heard of. But first, you've probably just heard two ads. You're probably like, what? My favorite gaming podcast doesn't have two ads at the beginning. If you go to the episode before this, it has two ads. The episode before that, it has two ads. You thought, am I in the Twilight Zone? None of these episodes ever had ads. Guess what? We joined a podcast network called Poderation, so we're officially monetizing a little bit the podcast, and you're going to hear probably two ads at the beginning of every episode and an ad at the very end of every episode. So that's annoying for you. Sorry. But the good thing is, it's exciting in the way that we've grown. I ran the numbers about 52% this year. So from the very beginning of the year to right now, 52% growth, and that's kind of cool. It's not nothing. It's not a lot. This is still a pretty small podcast, but let's see where it goes. YouTube episodes will only ever have host-read ads and like the ads that YouTube gives you before you watch anything long normally, so you have to deal with that. And ad-free episodes will be available for Patreons who are giving us money, because we shouldn't monetize you twice. And if you're on Patreon, you get a shirt and some other things. But anyways, Emilio, what are we plugging this week?
We're plugging the Patreon. That's the only way to avoid all these goddamn ads flying at your face.
Damn.
Yeah. It's proactive. It's like ad away. You know, just like it's just, but you're bulletproof. You're bulletproof. You give us the money beforehand, and then we'll bug you about the money. I guess that's how it works. So anyway, how do you do it? You go to dlgaming.net. That's dlgaming.net. You can see pictures of our pretty faces, descriptions of podcasters come from a long time ago or current, and all our episodes are on there, and many ways to give us money. So check those out. That comes with a bunch of stuff. For $5 you get a green name on our Discord, you get access to us, you get early episodes, you get ad-free episodes. That's a new thing. It's a lot of stuff. Stickers, t-shirts. Yeah, that comes with the Patreon as well.
Yeah, and we don't make, I mean, we make money off the Patreon, but when you get the shirt and the stickers, like, we don't really make that much. Yeah, we're not in it necessarily for the business on Patreon. So, yeah, before we move on to picking things, I also just want to thank everyone who listens to this podcast. You know, we've grown because you stick around and presumably you like what you hear. So that's great. And now we're just going to note some interesting things. So our video game fantasy league has wrapped up. So if you don't know what that is, you know, fantasy football, everyone knows that. It's the same thing except for video games. When they release, they get a score on OpenCritic, and depending on that score, you add a score to your fantasy video game team. We've run a league 3 years in a row. We have all the past winners on the league page, so you can check out the 2023 league and the 2022 league, which is kind of cool to go back in time and see what games came out and what people thought were going to do well. And this one has come to a close, and it was quite the nail biter with 3 points in between first and second.
Jeez.
Scram TX, congratulations, listener and friend, patron Scram. Scram's sucky selection of Suckitude was his publisher name, but guess what? That was a canary in the
dark horse.
Yeah, the other one, a dark horse. He won. Congrats. So I want to do one of these in 2025, but I would like the draft to go super deep. Like, I wonder what happens if we have 25 people and we have to pick like some real indies, because, you know, like, this isn't casting shade at anyone. Everyone picked some AAA games that they could reasonably assume were going to do well. So I wonder what this looks like when, you know, we only have a couple of those on each team and we have to take a little bit more chances. So if you're out there and that sounds cool, join the Discord, join our fantasy league, and hopefully see you next year in 2025. Bobby, what are you pinging this week?
This week, I just wanted to remind everyone that Indiana Jones and the Great Circle was released, in case you didn't know that. So this is the game from Machine Games, developers of those new Wolfenstein games that I liked very much. And the reviews are good. They are positive. People are liking this game. If you read through the Steam reviews, people are saying things like it really captures the feeling of Indiana Jones, or this is the Indiana Jones game we've been waiting for. So that's just exciting to hear. It sounds like this is going to be a good one. And yeah, that just came out. So
Bobby,
Sweet.
if
it's
you know,
something to check out.
let's say the Open Critics like above 90%, right? Do you see a world where you spend $60 for a game, or 70? I think.
Yeah, it's $70. Wow. I don't know. That is a tough call.
90% on a AAA title.
If it were another Wolfenstein game, that maybe. But I don't know. I like Indiana Jones, but just not that much.
Bobby,
not
it's
as
weird.
much as Wolfenstein.
You have that face tattoo of Indiana Jones's hat right on your forehead, and you still won't shell out $60 for the game, or $70. Sorry, that's crazy.
And it's
dude.
probably worth it, man. It's probably worth it.
It's a cover up from a Super Mario tattoo you had earlier. Just want to remind everybody, Secret Lair is a TV show coming out on Amazon Prime in 2 days. So when this comes out, it will already be live. It is a collection. It's the same people that did, what is it? Guns and Robots? Sex, Guns and Robots? Is that what it was?
I think that's
on
close.
Netflix.
Love, Death, and Robots. No.
Love, Death, and Robots, which I
Yes.
loved, and I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
But I can remember some obscure game that fucking you said of 5 minutes ago. But anyway, yeah, so I love those. First season was fantastic, and then they just kind of got a little bit diluted, but still really good. But now they're doing their vignettes of video games. Some of the video games are Mega Man, D&D, Pac-Man, Warhammer, Armored Core, Outer Worlds, Spelunky, Sifu, and these things are like, they could be as short as like 3-4 minutes, or as long as like 15-20 minutes. There's no through line. They're not connected to each other, but they're generally beautifully animated in 3D animation. A lot of times there's different styles because different teams are putting these together. So yeah, that's December 10th. They got some heavy hitters for the voice acting. They have Arnold Schwarzenegger. They got his son, Patrick Schwarzenegger, not the one that doesn't look anything like him. The Keanu is in there. There's a few other voice actors. So, you know, it's going to be kind of like Love, Death, and Robots. I think it's going, you know, some are going to be good and some are going to not be so good. So, but I'm excited either way. You know, it's video game stuff, and the initial reviews aren't so hot, but those are from critics, and I think a lot of nostalgia is going to float this higher up on the tomato meter once it comes out.
Are the critics
From
playing
the fans.
Spelunky?
Yeah,
Are the
exactly.
critics playing Outer World? I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's cool. With Love, Death, and Robots, even the ones that I didn't like were cool visually, and the
Yeah,
story
sure.
was unique. So even if I was like, that was kind of, at least it wasn't like I wasn't entertained. It's just like the really
Yeah, I
good
didn't
ones are like
regret.
so high. Yeah,
I didn't regret not watching them.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I was in it.
cool. Secret Lair, that was announced last Game Awards, wasn't it?
Is it?
Oh.
No, it was really recent. The dude was crying.
Oh, Summer
remember?
Games Fest. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Okay, cool. Okay, on to highlights. So games that we've been playing, and Bobby's going to start us off.
And I'm going to start it off with Traveler's Rest. So I picked this game up a couple weeks ago. It is a management sim game, very much like Stardew Valley. You farm, fish, forage, and on the side you run a restaurant. /bar. It's probably the closest I've come to playing a game that is like Stardew Valley. You know, I've been looking for that Stardew Valley game that's not Stardew Valley because I've already just done everything I can possibly do in there. And I think this one comes the closest so far, which is really cool. It's got co-op. I don't think you have to go around and win, like make friends and win favor yet, or at least I haven't gotten to that point. But everything else mimics Stardew Valley pretty closely. The graphics, it's got these pixel SNES-like graphics, which really remind me of Final Fantasy III, which I absolutely love that game. Don't care for any of the other Final Fantasy games, funny enough, but 3 has a very special place in my heart.
You have that tramp stamp of the Final Fantasy 3.
I'm just covered in gaming tattoos. Yeah.
Everywhere.
But it's covering up a Donkey Kong Country
Of course.
tattoo that he had. Yeah.
Wow. So, yikes. This game, there's a few cool things about this game. Number one, just like Stardew Valley, you can get pets. So, of course, I got a cat. And they give you a lot of options with the cats. You can get a fat cat, which I've never seen in a game before as an option for a pet. All right. And there's just not enough representation out there for the plus size cats. You know what I'm saying? And they're out there, man. My cat is a bit of a chunker. So, it's nice to see that in games. So
I might even say it's the majority of cats are on the heavier side, no?
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah. A lot of big cats out there. I don't know what they're putting in cat food these days. But so I've got a fat cat in this game. His name's Duncan, spelled like Dunkin' Donuts with the apostrophe and everything. But he
is that
waddles
pronounced?
around.
Is the apostrophe pronounced?
Yeah, you just say Duncan.
Got it.
It's a short N. So I really like this game. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It does feel a little like it needs more, but it is in early access. So I figure they're going to add stuff later and it's going to be a more well-rounded game. I think it needs more in the bartending restaurant side because that gets a little repetitive. You're basically grabbing stuff from the kitchen, running it out to people that want it. They try to mix it up a little bit. Like you get some angry customers and you have to go calm them down. Sometimes they don't calm down. So then you have to hit them with a mop and chase them out of your bar, your establishment. But that's about as exciting as it gets. Other than that, it's just run over here, press a button, run over there, press a button. Also, the crafting UI could be a little bit better. It's a little confusing. So not only do you have to get the materials and the craft things, like the way that the UI is laid out makes that a little confusing, but then you also need to remember that just about everything you do needs fuel. So you have to put fuel in there, and that's like a separate tab or button. So I feel like that could be a little easier to understand. But the big problem here, and this is probably just my problem, is it's got way too much dialogue. The beginning of the game, you're getting tutorialized by this, I don't know, it's like some spirit fox type thing who's guiding you through everything. And man, this guy talks and talks and talks. And you can speed through some of the dialogue there, but still it's just like, wow, he's just going on a tear here. And even when you go and you talk to the people in the shops, like they give you that extra dialogue. Like he has some greeting and you see it every single time. I'm like, look, dude, I just want to get to this shop here. Let's get to it. And I feel like I'm probably the only person that complains about this because every game does it. Like every game I play has like too many dialogue windows, those written dialogue boxes, and they get real cute and creative with it. And I know they're trying to be creative, but I feel like it is taking me away from the game. Like I want to play the game. I don't want to like read about the feelings of some inanimate character who I don't care about. And yet somehow Stardew Valley, they do that very little, and yet I care way more about those characters. Like they manage to make these characters that you really get attached to without like all that dialogue. So it's possible, folks. It can be done.
Unfortunately, the dialogue writer for this game is a huge DLG fan, and he's sitting on the edge of a balcony right now, just fucking replaying this over and over, dude.
No, I'm telling you, like it must be. I don't think it bothers people as much as me because, like, otherwise every single game wouldn't do this. But it's just like I don't know. I think you need a little more, be a little more economic with the dialogue in these games because it's just like too much. It distracts from the game way too much.
Bobby, you don't like.
You said, go ahead. Khajiit
has wares if you have coin. Not a fan, despite the tattoo on your forearm. No.
So at the beginning, you said foraging, fishing, and farming. I was like, oh, it's the 3 Fs, you know? And then you were like, and you have a bar. And I was like, 2 more Fs, fighting and fucking, dude, for sure. You got to chase them out, hit them with the mop. It's pretty good. Something's getting laid in a bar, dude. Somebody.
in the
Well, it's
corner.
technically a tavern. It's food and drink.
Right.
But,
Yeah, don't fuck it
it's
up,
almost-
Emilio.
like Dave the Diver in that sense, where it's got these like two halves of the game almost, but it doesn't divide them as equally. Like you start out the day and you can do whatever you want. You could open the bar this day and or the tavern and run that, or you could go to the market and do some farming and chop down some trees or something. Like you could do all sorts of things.
It's
But
not
it's
a
a good
hard
game.
deadline. It's not a hard deadline.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
But it is like Stardew Valley where you've got a day to do stuff. And once, it hits 2 a.m., then your lights out. But it's a good game, man. I'm really enjoying Traveler's Rest. I have not played it co-op yet, but I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, it is co-op. That's cool. Sweet.
Yeah, it is local co-op, but they got remote play built right into Steam now, so that's not a problem. But yeah, probably going to be playing this with the girlfriend. And I think I'm glad I played it first just so I could get through all the tutorial stuff. So now I can just kind of like speed run her through that, because I think that would have killed it for both of us.
Dude.
If we had started the game together and it was just like dialogue, and like tutorial, like it would have just been like, this is not fun.
I have this game, and usually, Bobby, gotta say, don't agree with you on the dialogue, but yeah, during my vacation, I have all the time in the world, right? And was looking for games, and I started up Traveler's Rest. I've had it forever, and this fucking Fox Ghost, he just killed the game for me. I played it for like 20 minutes, and I was like, dude, this is too much. Like, I'm gonna go back to Mechabellum. Sponsored by, just kidding. Yeah. So you're not the only one out there for sure who, almost got trampled by the ghost fox in Traveler's Rest.
Dude, I hope your girlfriend really wants to hear everything he has to say and you have to sit through it. I'm hoping that's how the story
that's
goes.
what's wonderful about playing with her. She doesn't care about that stuff either.
Damn it.
Yeah.
She might have been groomed. She might have been groomed in that direction.
You've taught her.
You don't need any of this. This is all the bullshit.
No, dude, I didn't push her at all. It was like a natural reaction in Stardew Valley. Yeah. Like she would get stuck in a cutscene. She's like, "Oh my god, why am I in this cutscene?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know. It's super annoying.
I gotta get back to my radishes."
You guys are meant for each other. That's awesome. This is a little aside, but my friend was an overhead door technician. And one of the places he serviced was a dog food factory. Earlier you asked, what's in dog food? Vegans, cover your ears, because I don't know if anyone knows this, but he said the dog food factory is right next to the Lilydale Farm chicken breast factory. And what happened at the dog food factory was all the little chickens that had hatched, these yellow chickens, were on a conveyor belt, and they fell into a giant blender bath that would mix it. And he said that mixture was yellow with like the feathers of these chickens that were being conveyed in there. So dog food, baby chickens in some places. The more you know.
Because I've seen the separator that separates a male from female. All the males are discarded. And so, just hundreds and hundreds of them every day.
Yep.
Go into,
dog food.
Well, how do we come back from that?
I don't know. Sorry.
How did we even get there?
Dog food. Cat food. It was cat food. The story is completely irrelevant. Shit.
Jesus. Just bummed everybody out for no reason, dude.
Yeah, that's true. My bad. What are you talking about, Emilio? Pick it up.
I'm talking about what everyone listening is going to be playing next week. That's how good this shit is, and it's free. It's Supervive. It is a little bit hard to describe, but I'm going to give it a shot. It is a top-down MOBA like. That's how the controls work. So you have a hero character. You pick them, and then it's top-down. So you're moving around with WASD, and you have your 3 abilities and an ultimate. And you can play as duos or squads, so 2 or 4, and you're basically playing a battle royale. So you, as your typical flyover, pick a spot, fall down, come down on a rocket, and then start farming because there's mobs. So you're trying to out XP everybody else, and you're also trying to out gear everybody else. So sometimes killing mobs will get you items, and so you get better. You know what it reminds me of, Bobby, and maybe 10 people out there will know what it was like. Realm Royale, but you control it like you would Dota, basically. So
Okay.
and when I first saw this, I was like, this is definitely not going to be for me. And literally first game in, I'm like, this is so much fun. You know, I was playing with Nick and his wife and Clown Lotion, and we might have played 15 games in a row. We played for like 3 hours straight.
Wow.
It was so much fun because it's a small download. It's free to play. It is not pay to win. You're unlocking character, especially at the beginning. That first night we probably unlocked 4 heroes. There's 15. So yeah, there's nothing predatory about this game at all. The characters are actually pretty cool looking. Their abilities are pretty cool. There's a lot of distinction between them. There's fighters, protectors, supports, initiators, and controllers. So there's a lot of like diversity there. And John and I had a game. His very first game, he goes, we cannot stop picking the same shit. John and I are the same people. We're twin flames. So let me cut away to another game real quick. We play 40K. I go Warhammer Space Marine 40K. I go, here's the thing where you customize your character. He goes, okay. So we both go in the thing and we're putting on our space makeup, and we come out of there and we're dressed exactly alike. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. Like, it's insane. So then we play this game, and of course he goes, I think I'm gonna go with the Fox character. And I'm like, yeah, exactly the fucking character that I first picked and had my first 15 games with. Yeah, I know. Like, everything we pick. Anyway, he has his first game. We chicken dinner it. His first game out, dude. I'd never chicken dinnered. We just do it all the way to the end. It felt fantastic. That was great. And then I also have always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Our squad of 4, Nick, Lotion, and Nick's wife, we got second place probably 5 times in a row, or 5 times in the night, and we just never got that chicken dinner until one of the last games. It felt really good getting that chicken dinner. There are a lot of risk versus rewards in this game. So which is one of the mechanics, sub mechanics that I love in games. So when you knock somebody out, their little soul is like a marble and it's rolling around. So they can like roll into the bush and hopefully their teammate can resurrect them.
Oh.
Or a enemy, like the person that knocked them out, can eat their soul, like pick it up and destroy it basically. But to do that, you go into a 4-second animation where you can't do anything. But it's really cool because you throw it up in the air and you shoot it, but you leave yourself completely open while you're doing that. So that's one of the risk rewards. Then the entire map, it's giant. Like I told you, 15 games. We saw new areas constantly. There's just different biomes and stuff within this one gigantic map. And there's a lot of little islands and chasms that you have to fly over because you have a glider. And anytime you're gliding over these chasms, if you take 1 hit of damage, you just fall. It's instant kill. So there's a lot of like, if you're running from the enemy, do you jump over the chasm? Or if you're going for that last, if somebody has just a hair, one more shot, and he flies over the chasm and you're going to chase him, do you chase him? Because he's going to land first, turn around and shoot you and kill you, even though if you're at full health. So there's a lot of like jostling for position with these chasms. It adds a lot to the game. There's also these vaults where you have to play a rhythm game. One person has to play a rhythm game. The other 3 people have to protect them while they're playing the rhythm game to open the vault. If you fuck up the rhythm game, everyone in the area is alerted that you're trying to do it. So you're gonna get jumped on. There's just a lot of stuff. Oh, and the whole time there's a train going around the entire map that's moving at a good clip. You can get run over by the train. You could jump on the train. The train has stuff. It's like Australia. It's like the Italian Job. You can jump on there, fucking steal some shit, jump off the train. It's fucking. I have nothing bad to say about this game. It is so much fun. It's free. If one thing I was going to say was I was ready to support them. I was like, I'm going to throw them a couple bucks because I really like this game. And the $20, you get all the heroes, 15 heroes, but not the future heroes. You just get the ones. But I'm like, I'm unlocking them at a good clip here. I don't really need that. And the next step up is like $50. And I'm like, I don't want to support them that much. You know, I was just like, and there's no season pass that you can buy. You unlock things through XP, but there's no XP boost unless you get the $50 one. So the only thing you get with the $20 is the 15 characters. I just thought the marketing or the monetization was a little off. Not predatory, just give me a middle ground there. Give me a $30 option or something. Anyway, you guys got to play it.
It sounds awesome, dude. It sounds super fun.
It is.
Yeah.
It's super fun. Let me see. How's it doing on Steam here?
I wonder how that's going to do releasing right against Marvel Rivals, because it sounds like they're kind of a little bit in that same Venn diagram almost.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure, there's some crossover there. This has much better reviews so far. It's 90% with 11,000 reviews. Concurrent players top was like almost 50,000. Current, I think, was something like 15 when I checked. So it's doing pretty well.
On a free-to-play game, that's 90% feels incredible. Like the bar is so low, you don't have to pay. And so people, you know, anyone out there can drop a negative review for any small thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, you guys need to check this out, dude. It's better than the game Bobby used to play on Blizzard. I can't think of the name of it. It would have been so much better if I could.
Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah, it's better than Heroes of the Storm, Bobby.
Probably. That game's old. All right.
You have
Christian,
something
I'm
else?
excited to hear.
Oh.
What? No.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Oh,
I'm so sorry. So sorry.
No. It's my fault. I'm playing Warhammer 40K tabletop. So a buddy's buddy told me that he was into this and he has a bunch of stuff, and I was like, why don't you come over? So last Sunday he came over, and this Sunday he came over. He's probably come over next Sunday. And I'd never played the tabletop before, and it's very cool, especially when it's free. When somebody has everything you need, you know, he has little small armies. We're starting off with like little groups of 5 guys and just playing these tiny little battles really. And we're upping the ante every week. And next week he's going to start bringing tanks and stuff. And so I'm learning as we go. It's really fun because he's not a stickler for the rules. It's almost like we're interjecting like story elements as we play. We're like, well, that doesn't make sense. And he's like, oh, okay, like, you know, you can't shoot through your guys. So we're like, oh, okay, so, you know, we're just making up rules to make it more fun as we go, and it's super fun. Besides that, I do want to get into the game, but I'm having a little trepidation as far as what to invest in, right? Because there's, I don't know how many factions. I'm going to say 35 factions. That's a guess. It could be 45. And so I don't want to spend $250 on little figurines and be like, these people suck.
Do it off vibes.
Yeah.
Just if you're
just go with your gut, you mean?
Yeah, just go with your gut. When has your gut ever steered you wrong, Emilio?
It's steering me wrong right now, dude. I'm fucking fat as shit. Yeah. So I don't know where this is going. But it is definitely fun, and I'm glad that I'm playing it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, Bobby, your excitement is coming to fruition. Mass Effect Legendary Edition. That's the game that I decided to christen my last week of no work. And I don't know, before I get into it, you guys have both played this game, right?
Yeah.
Sure have.
3 games.
And all 3 of them. And you liked all 3 of them? They hold like a special place in your gaming timeline kind of thing?
They're very good games.
Yeah, they're good. They're good games. I played it later, like kind of after all 3 of them had come out and kind of the craze had died down a little bit. But I also did it the right way. I played back to back to back.
Okay, cool.
These games just like straight through. Back when I didn't work summers, I just plowed right through them, and it was a great experience. And I think really playing them in succession helped a lot.
Oh, cool. Dang. Well, I'm not even done the first one yet, but I do hope to play them in succession because I'm having a great time. So if you're under a rock or your name is Christian and you haven't played this game, Mass Effect is, I don't know, Knights of the Old Republic Light. That's what I'm calling it. So BioWare in 2003 made Knights of the Old Republic. And then I don't know what they did, probably a lot of things. But then in 2007 came out with the first Mass Effect. I mean, them and a bunch of other developers helped. It wasn't just them. But I can see the influences of Knights of the Old Republic in this game, like very clearly. Why did I start playing Mass Effect randomly at 31 years of age? Because Emilio's description of them maybe like a year or two ago, he was like, no, man, the decisions you make in the first one affect the second one, and then those affect the third one. And my mind was blown. I never even heard of an RPG that has done this. So that was kind of cool. This game made me feel good. I'm on the character select screen and I'm like, ooh, what am I going to be? I don't know, soldier. There's like some bioweapon guy. I'm like, stealth archer. I can't go wrong with this infiltrator character, right? So I'm an infiltrator, which specializes in like sniper rifles and sneak attacks, although I'm finding it hard to be sneaky. I'm also a bit of a bad boy. So these dialogue options, I'm like, I'm an infiltrator.
Renegade.
I'm cool. I'm a renegade. Yeah. I'm trying to, the bad options do feel kind of like you're a shitty asshole, whereas the bad options in Knights of the Old Republic was like kill so and so. It was just like you were a Sith, but this one just feels like you are kind of a bad dude, but not like a straight up killer, if that makes any sense. John Shepard, I feel like could never. That's like the name the game wants to give you when you first sign up. John Shepard could never be a renegade, so I chose a new name. My name is Josh Shepard. So I felt that was a more appropriate for a badass. Josh the badass, you know? No?
Bobby named him captain of the ship.
Is that a true story?
No, it is not. I must have left the default name there.
Okay. You can't change the last name, but you can always change the first. So captain of the ship Shepard. I'm just gonna give my shotgun thoughts because I don't want to go through every single thing about the game since you have all played it. The Geth, they're space zombies, right? They're robotic space zombies. They turn people into they're the Flood, but not. Lockpicking equals Frogger. I was like, oh, I've played this before a long time ago. I was like expecting to do some like awesome hacking shit, and I'm just like playing a game of circular Frogger. Like, what the fuck? What is this? But that made me think, what is my favorite lockpicking mechanic? Oblivion, didn't like. Morrowind, I think Morrowind was my favorite. You like tapped up, you had that 3D screen. It was super, it felt fun, but like there was some skill and randomness involved, but in like the perfect combination. And what was your guys' favorite? Do you have a favorite lockpicking mechanic?
I can't remember if it's Fallout or the other Bethesda game, Skyrim, but I think it's Fallout. God, all right, maybe it's not either of those games, but there's a lock picking in one of those games that is really good because it viscerally feels like you're picking a lock, and you can, if you bend it too much the wrong way, you snap your lock pick and it breaks. That's Skyrim. Okay, yeah, that's the one then.
Feels so good.
It really feels like you're picking a lock and you're trying not to break it and you're being careful, and then crap, I broke one. So I mean, I think they really conveyed the feeling of picking locks best.
Right, that's like POV from the lock picker, and you have like one up here, and you're like, okay, cool. Yeah, I like that one too.
I was gonna say that one, but Cyberpunk 2077 it's not just unlock or fail. It's unlock, fail, or maximize your unlock. Like there's 3 levels of how good you unlock it by this hacking little scheme, and you feel like a genius when you do a really hard one. So it's very cool, very unique too. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, didn't Half-Life Alyx have a really good one for VR?
Yeah, super cool. Very cool. That's a good one that you said.
And I also have a most frustrating Kingdom Come Deliverance. I was playing on my Steam Deck, and it's like a really realistic game. And the lock picking is like I could never. It was like lock easy. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm used to easy locks in Skyrim and every other game, and it's like, no, dude. Like you're literally picking a lock. Like grow the fuck up.
Jeez.
This is medieval lock picking. And on my, I could never get like the right angles on the controller at least, but. Yeah. Anyways, back to Mass Effect. So the game starts out. There's like a destruction of this human colony. You're beginning of your voyage into something other than just a simple military commander. And there's a dock worker that witnesses a very important murder. It's the alien sent to help you, and then this enemy who's the big villain gets introduced, Saren, and he blows this guy's head off. And the dock worker's hiding behind some boxes. And so you go find him, and you start talking to him. And you go through all these dialogue options, and he's basically like not tutorializing you, but filling in like the lore of this place and what just happened. And then at the end, he's just like, I've got to get away from all this. And he just runs, he just beelines it off the screen. And I'm like, what? Where are you? You're literally witness to like a very important murder, and your whole planet is being like taken over by space zombies. Like, where are you going? Why did you just like Mass Effect? I feel like could have been such a shorter game if the dock worker just came with me and told his story to the council instead of me having to find all this evidence and go on all these trips, have to go to a research station, have to go across the galaxy to prove this Saren guy is actually evil. But this dock worker just saw him kill right in front of him and just decides to fuck off. Speaking of Saren, the bad guy, I think he should have fun nicknames. My pitches are Saran Wrap and Serendipitous, because he just shows up at the least opportune times. Good? Bad? How do we feeling about?
Is this the game with that you have the little moon car?
I think that's the first one.
Yep.
Is that the first one?
Yeah, I just finished that on Novaria. Yeah.
A lot of people did not like that, but I thought it was fine.
They took that out of the other games. Yeah, it wasn't a popular part.
Yeah.
Oh, really? That's the part that was like, oh, this is Knights of the Old Republic. Like this, I remember this mission on the ice world.
Little moon rover.
Yeah. Dialogue options feel like a shell game to me sometimes. I'm like, okay, I have to be careful what I pick. So this is just an example. I picked the dialogue option, we've got nothing to hide. And that's how I read it in my head. What my character said was, we did nothing wrong. It's the shame the council can't see that. I was like, whoa, buddy, coming off a bit strong there. Jeez.
Yeah. I do remember that now that you say it. It's not exact.
Yeah. Which I thought was kind of cool because it was like, that's your internal thought. And then when you say it, sometimes it doesn't come out quite the way you meant it. I don't know. But yeah, they do that throughout the games. Have you reached the point where you've started developing any romantic relationships with anyone?
No, I was trying to romance this alien. He's the Krogan Rex. I was trying to romance him, but he's like a stone wall, like that big frog guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Rex is great.
I don't think
he was always in the crew.
What?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Really?
But it's funny. That game might have been a little bit ahead of its time too, because there's a lot of like, there's a lot of romance options in there, and everybody in there has their own sexual preferences too. So like for me, I kept trying to get something going with Samantha Trainer. I can't remember which one she was in, but finally she was just like, look, I'm into girls. And I'm like, okay, great. Barking up the wrong tree here. And then at a later point in the game, like, someone else on my ship comes up to me, a guy, and just like lays his cards out and tells me how he feels about me. And I'm just like, sorry, buddy. And then I think I settled for some alien chick. I don't know. But yeah.
Don't we all?
Yeah, that's usually how. The one with like no face too, or like gas for face. I can't remember
Talia,
her name.
maybe?
Yeah, Talia. She always wears the mask. Yeah.
She's probably just trying to get legalization papers.
She's green card. That's what it is.
Anyone?
Green
She's
card
trying
marriage.
to make it into the council.
Yeah. But I mean, so that game, I don't think it got a lot of flack for that, like the homosexual relationship, at least not that I remember, even though that like back then you didn't really see that like at all, I think. I don't know. I don't remember that in many games, but I remember them. And by them, I mean, just like, people complaining about like parents complaining about the nudity and the sex in that game. Cause there are some like sex scenes in that game. Yeah. It's not like Tales of Nadia or anything, but it's not like super graphic, but there might be some nudity and there's definitely like some sexual implications. But I remember there being a little bit of hubbub about that, like, ooh, sex in video games that kids are playing, but
oh, interesting.
Now it seems so tame, but yeah.
I can't wait to, so Rex isn't romanceable. That sucks. I've been talking to him a lot.
No, I didn't say that. I said it doesn't have a dick.
Oh,
but he may not be. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like everybody in that game is, but I don't know. Good luck with that, though.
Good luck.
Thank you. I shall continue the most important mission as I do this side quest of saving the galaxy.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Oh, by the way, if you've played Mass Effect, I had a couple people message me saying, I'm so glad you're playing Mass Effect. Like, this game is really awesome and important to me. It's too big for me to do everything out there and talk about it and experience it and have fun with it. So if you have something that like you really found awesome about this game and it's like on a mission in a random planet that I'm probably not going to visit, tell me about it, because I would love to do any side quest that is like super interesting and has like fun mechanics. When I got to the mission with the tank outside and going, I was like, oh, this is a nice change of pace. I like this. Like, is there a world where I don't have to do this? I don't know if there is, but it was fun.
Other than that, you're going to be staying on the main quest?
Yeah, I think I'm just going to main quest. I want to do the story and get to 2 because, I mean, you said, I think 2 is where it starts to really take off and have something of its own. Whereas I guess to me right now, it feels just like a simpler Knights of the Old Republic. It has its own story and lore and everything, of course, but mechanically. Okay, next we're going to On the Radar. So games that have caught our attention. And Bobby, a game with another tattoo, dude. Talk about it. What's going on?
Yeah, so this week I want to talk about Covenant. This was just announced very recently. Teaser trailer released. Actually, quite a bit of gameplay in that trailer. It's basically Dark Souls first-person shooter. Plus, it's got co-op and a bunch of melee combat. If you watch the gameplay, it looks pretty good. It looks like it has potential. But what really caught my eye was the sales pitch that they had. And what's funny is I watched the sales pitch this morning, and I wanted to get into it because it's very interesting. It's looking at gaming from a business perspective. And then I linked it to you guys, and Emilio must have watched it early, but then Christian tried to watch it later, and it had been taken down from their website. It's not on YouTube. When I watched the video, it was embedded right in their website. But apparently you can't find that video anymore, which is a shame because it was really good. It was a 5-minute video of a guy giving a sales pitch to investors, and it really revealed a lot about like the business side of games. You know, they say about like movies, you know, it show business, emphasis on the business. You know, people are in it to make money. So AAA gaming is much like that. And when this guy was like super energetic, super confident, he got up there and he gave this like really quick, aggressive speech and then just jumped off the stage basically. And I was just like, wow, okay. And it is a sales pitch. So of course it's supposed to leave you like feeling like, oh yeah, awesome. I'm totally into this game, right? So, I mean, even aside from that, I felt like he brought up some really good points. He started off talking about why do some games fail and why do some games succeed? And he said it's not the pedigree of the team, because he talks about the team that's behind this game, Covenant. And he's like, we got people from like Doom that worked on Doom or this game or that game, and they got these awards, but that doesn't matter. There's a million other teams out there just like this, and they're making games that don't succeed. So what is it? He said, when you try to make a game, you see other past games that were successful, and you got a checklist. Does it have this, this, and this? And you could release a game and it checks every box, but it still fails. So why? And then he talked about Call of Duty versus Battlefield. Why did this one succeed? Why did that one fail? And they thought, oh, well, it's just like people didn't want to play a World War II shooter. But then a year ago, this game came out, World War II shooter, and it did really well. So what is it? And he also said, and this is like, my explanation for this was like, it's kind of arbitrary because I would see a game come out, a new Call of Duty, and people were just like, I don't like that one. I like Battlefield now. And that just seemed to be like this dogpile trend that happened on the internet. And it's like, well, you can't combat that. So to me, it just seemed like these arbitrary player opinions. And he said, no, it's not that either. What it actually is the execution. It's the thousands of small decisions that you make when creating a game that make that difference. And while I still think it's kind of arbitrary player opinion, I do think he's right about that, because those player opinions are formed off of certain things. People will latch on to something they don't like about a game. Like, I don't know. I can't think of a specific example.
The UI in Traveler's Rest.
Yeah, there you go.
Non-tattooable logo.
But they'll latch on to something specific like that, and it'll ruin the game for them. And then they look for other reasons why not to like the game. So, and you can tell when a game is good. Like, you can sit down and you can play a game, and gamers are very, very sensitive and perceptive when they're being manipulated or when there's something that doesn't work. So I think it really does come down to just the design of your game, the choices that you make when creating these games. Now, all that being said, is Covenant going to be good? I mean, maybe. Who knows, man? I mean, the game looks pretty good. I mean, the graphics look nice, but they suffer from that visual sameness. You know, when you see a game and it just looks like kind of washed out and everything's kind of the same color and it just looks like a blurry brown. Like, that's kind of like this game. But it's got boss fights. It's got roguelike elements, Metroidvania. I mean, it's Dark Souls, but with guns and melee combat. And in a way, it kind of reminded me of Dark Messiah, that game I played about a year ago. Very old game, but it's like an RPG, Dark Messiah, Might and Magic, which I really enjoyed. So maybe there is something to this game.
Yeah, I love the way that he's like, let's go down the check boxes of what makes a good game. And he just had a counter position. He had hard numbers on a counter position of each one of those checkboxes. Is it this? No, it is. Let me show you. Here's a direct example of why that's not that. And they just went down the list. Here's another one. Here's another one. Here's another one. Just counterpoints to everything you might think is what makes a good game. Real confident, real salesy, but just confident in his team and their mission. About what you were saying about how, we can kind of sense, how often do we're reviewing a game and we're like, you could tell that the developers were passionate about, like, how the fuck does that bleed through? Like, how does us as a player, how can we tell that they were passionate? Maybe they just made a bunch of yes or no questions and you ended up with this really polished item. Why do we describe things that way? I think
the only way I can describe it is like when I play a game and I'm like, that's what I would have done. That's the choice I would have made here for like creating this game. And sometimes I play games and I'm like, did the people that make this game even play video games? Like, do they even know? Like they just feel like it was made by somebody who doesn't know like what a good game is.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe two things on that. Sometimes they're making decisions that are based on manipulations, and Bobby, what you said about like, we know when we're being manipulated, I think is super it's a good point, because we do know, but also some of us like that. Like, there's a reason why people play League of Legends again and again, match after match. The gameplay is fun, obviously, but you're also being manipulated. And so people see how League of Legends does that and they want to implement it in their free-to-play whatever game. And for some reason, it just doesn't have that extra bit of finesse to carry that over the bridge, right? Like, when I'm in a game and what I would describe someone as passionate is like small details that surprise me. I'm like, oh, I feel like they didn't have to do, like, whenever I say they didn't have to do that and I'm impressed by that, then I feel like, but they did that because they're going the extra mile to make a game that they want me to feel really good about playing. So, yeah.
That's why I've been pushing. I was pushing. How often do I push a game as hard as I just push Supervive? Not very often, and a lot of it is because there was no manipulation, or at least I didn't feel any manipulation, and also everything just worked. And then all the quality of life stuff seems to already be worked out. Like at no point was I like, oh, they should do this one thing differently, except for their monetization. I want them to make money.
Yeah, your one gripe was the manipulation.
Yeah.
You're like, I was not manipulated.
Well, and I mean, specifically with League of Legends, that game came out forever ago in a time when that was more acceptable, and people were willing to people were okay with that. Like, people were okay with that type of monetization that's like extremely exploitative, but they get away with it now because everybody invested in it and they got a lot of player retention. But if you brought out another game that tried to do the same thing, I feel like people would immediately reject it. Like, it's tough to pull that off. You don't see games coming out with like loot boxes anymore. And what game was I just talking about like 2 weeks ago where I was just like, do they really want to release like a MOBA game like this with that type of monetization? Because it was just
Smite 2.
Yeah, Smite 2. I was just like, but you know, of course, Smite 2 does that thing where you just pay $30 and you just get everything for free all the time. But they had that broken up like season pass. So I don't know, man. I think things have changed. It's all about the season pass these days. But we'll see what happens with Covenant. I mean, they just announced this game. I think we're a ways away from seeing it on like for sale, but it's something to keep an eye on.
Oh, you guys said the guy
2 years away, probably.
Oh, 2 years away. The way you described the guy about how passionate he was, I thought maybe we would see him maybe on the stage of the Game Awards announcing something.
Maybe, because part of his presentation, he said, let me show you what my team has done in 4 months. And then he played the trailer there.
And then it came out again and he was like 4 months. Oh, and he said, come by our booth and you could get your hands on this. It's real, basically.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
He's dropping the big. I wonder if they put that up accidentally. Are we going to get like our first takedown notice? You watched this in the 5 hours that it was up by accident.
I'm curious, like what the story is behind that. Why they took it off their website.
Well, Bobby, how did you see it? Like how did you find this?
Somebody in the Reddit
place?
comments.
Oh, okay.
Somebody in the Reddit comments said, "Check out this video," and I was like, "All right,
oh, cool.
I will," because I do anything they say in Reddit.
About travel. The game I'm going to talk about is called Your Tree. It caught my attention because it's like a relaxing rock garden tree grower. You can pick from a lot of different seeds and you plant the seed in the ground and the tree slowly grows. And what are you doing? You're nurturing all the area around the tree in this perfect square, like a Japanese like rock garden. You can put mushrooms on the tree. You can put a swing set on the tree. You can decorate with flowers. You can make ponds. You can place rocks. It's very chill, kind of tiny glade vibes. And I think this is just, I mean, if this is a couple bucks, this is the perfect kind of wind down Steam Deck game. I'm on the couch. I just want to do something super relaxing for 5 or 10 minutes. I don't want to be stressed at all. And I just want to, nurture my little garden. It's also, my mom doesn't play very many games anymore, but the games she does play are like these chill exploration games. It's not a genre that I got super into until we were on the couch and she was playing. And I was like, this is fun. Watching you play is fun and relaxing. What do you like about this? And she's like, well, I don't really know how to play a lot of other, like the newer titles that come out. I just want something where I can sit down and relax and still feel like I'm playing video games, right? Like it's too complicated for the computer, setting up Steam. It's like kind of a lot for her to get through. So, Your Tree, I want to be relaxed. And I added it to my wish list. 313 titles on there, folks.
I wonder how much, I wonder if she could play Firewatch. If that would be within her wheelhouse. That's a good game.
Okay.
It's kind of like an exploration game.
A chill exploration game, yeah.
Yeah. So before I get into my headset, I noticed that you're using earbuds. Why did you make that decision?
Because my fucking headphones were on the cord charging, and something must be wrong with the cord because they died as soon as I picked them up, which was very disappointing. I hate earbuds, so it's extra frustrating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Both of our eyes darted to Bobby's earbuds when you said that.
I love my earbuds, man. Those are great.
No, those look comfy, but these, they have like, first of all, they block my voice, so I feel like I have to speak at triple my volume, which is annoying. And they're not like normal, like, I don't know. I'm going to show the camera so you guys see what I'm talking about. Do you see how big that piece is? That doesn't fit in my ear. Where's that going?
I don't
That
know
doesn't
why they
fit.
make earbuds like that. So they started making earbuds wireless, and then they decided, like, let's just make them really stupid. Like, we're just going to have them like cram into your ear. And I've got earbuds like this too, or earbuds like this too, where they just, I have to like twist them in my ear and hope they stay there. But these ones that I've got right here, these are the Bose Sound Sport with the wing tips. They just like rest gently in the ear and they kind of clip in and they just stay there. They don't plug my ears. They're perfect. They don't make these anymore. I lost these at DLG Con 2 years ago. I was so upset. These are knockoffs that I bought on eBay from like China. And I mean, they're pretty good. I can't really tell the difference, to be honest with you. They were outrageously expensive for like super old earbuds that they don't even make anymore. They are wired though. But like these are my go-to, dude. The Bose Sound Sport, like not the new ones, but the old ones. So good. And it's so hard to find wingtips for earbuds these days.
Wingtips. I like how you said you're like with the wingtips.
That's the trick. That's the trick.
I think you guys are underestimating how hard it is to make. You know, everybody has different ears, and you got to try to fit into most of them without making too many people upset.
Dude, your ears, well, you're a big guy, so your ears naturally are big. I'm not saying you have big ears, just you have big ears.
I have huge ears.
These are like, this might as well be a butt plug on the end of this. Like, this is not meant to go inside your ear. Like, it hurts, and yeah, it's been falling out this whole fucking episode. I think I have normal, like, are my ears small? I don't think so.
I don't understand how those things, it's not, first of all, they give you a couple of different sizes with those little like spongy things you put on the ends of those, but I don't understand how those things like stay in people's ears. When I see people walking around with earbuds or the Apple ones, I've never had a pair of those, but they seem great. Okay. And like they always advertise them like you can wear these when you work out and when you're doing something really active, and they don't seem to fall out. I don't know how that happens, man, because
it's a shock. I could work all day, 12-hour day, climbing, all kinds of shit, and nope. For the most part, they won't fall out. And if they do fall out, it's like you get some warning.
But they won't fall out because you've like drilled it into your ear and it's plugged to your ear? Because I hate that.
His ears are like the black hole, dude. They're like the Bermuda Triangle. They're fucking huge. Nothing will come out. Yeah.
No, they do plug your ear, but they you can put them on the pass through so you can hear the outside around you.
Oh, I hate that. Yeah. My earbuds that I wear to the gym, my Sony ones are like that, and I hate it. I mean, I do the noise cancellation, which probably uses up the battery a little bit more, but it plugs my ears and it's not great.
All right. Well, it's very hard. Ears are weird shaped things, and it's hard to fuck them perfect. You know, it's a weird little hole you got to plug and hold, and it's weird. Anyway, so I got these. I'm still using the over-the-head headphones, old school style. I got so Ray, that used to be on the podcast, he's like, dude, I got the SteelSeries Arctis Nova Pro, and they're the best headphones I've ever had. And he always gets top of the line everything. And so I was like, okay. Mine are falling apart and not working so well, and the battery doesn't hold any charge, and so I'm gonna look into them. So I look into them; they're like $310 on Cyber Monday, and I'm looking at these things at like 1:30 in the morning. You know, it's just fucking stupid. It's like somebody watching old ladies watching QVC at fucking 2 in the morning buying stupid shit. So I'm just clicking around trying to find a better deal within the same website. Like, why would they still be cheaper, like from a different seller on Amazon? But I'm clicking around, and then I see a $200 version, and I'm like, oh, perfect. That's acceptable. So I buy them. They show up. And it's the wired one. It's fucking not. It's not wireless. It's $100 less because of that. But it's the best sound I've ever heard in my head, in my ears. Very, very good. That doesn't, I don't know if it has active noise cancellation, but the isolation that I get from just the cups is plenty. Like not a whole lot is getting in there at all. They're a little smaller than what I'm used to. If you compare them to the old ones I used to have, like that's a huge difference, man. So I feel like I look kind of funny on these, but they're comfy. It has a go-go gadget mic that comes out of the side.
Go gadget mic. Nice.
Look at that. Pretty nice, right?
Yes.
That's pretty cool. What else? Yeah, I don't know if I want to keep them. Do I send them back? Because the reason I want the wireless one, first of all, because I go pee during the podcast all the time, and it allows me to keep knowing what the hell's going on, right? When I go to pee. And but this time I had to take my headphone off, so that's a major thing. And then the reason I hate wireless ones, especially my last ones, is the battery life. But the wireless version of these ones have hot swappable battery pack, dude. So that's always charging. So you never have to plug it in. Awesome. So
I might buy these.
Yeah, I think I might have to do it.
Serious money on anything, I would buy these.
But now Cyber Monday's over, and now they're $350. So,
jeez.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I'm torn. I don't know what to say here. All right, let's get off of this subject. I'm sore about it.
Well, okay, let's get on to another subject. Subs and donos. Emilio, who do we got? Oh,
we have. Recycled subbed at tier 1 76 months,
dude. Fallout 76 months? No fucking way. That's crazy.
Yeah. And he says the Mako. Oh, that's the name of the vehicle that you're driving around. I knew it was a shark. I was like, it's the shark. I was saying it in my head, and I'm like, that's not right. I'm not gonna sound stupid. Somebody hit it up. The Mako, dude.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Bobby, listener questions. What are all these questions we have?
We have one question this week. This is from Scram TX. He asks, what game do you think got snubbed from the nominations? And of course, he is referring to the upcoming Game Awards.
Yes. So I made an oopsie. I asked for listener questions because I thought the Game Awards was 1 week earlier than it was. So Scram asked this question. I want to start off the next episode next week. We're going to talk about the Game Awards, and I would love to start off with like an in-depth conversation of what do you guys think about what categories stand out to you of what is missing. So like if you're really into fighting games, is anything missing in the fighting games? I don't know anything about fighting games. I'm going to tell you all about what's missing from the strategy games, of course. You can listen to that. But I don't know if we should answer this one right here for this episode.
We can. I don't know.
I mean, the question has been asked.
Yeah.
Okay. The glove has been dropped.
I mean, I'll just say, like, I love Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. I've been playing so much of that recently. I don't really expect that to show up on the Game Awards. I don't know how they feel about early access, although apparently DLC is totally cool. So I don't know.
Yeah. Like Nick said, not all decent DLCs are created equal. It's hard to say, dude. It's almost a sequel, you know. I don't know, man. So I think Space Marine 2 should be up there. But I'm a little partial because I played that and I did for Game of the Year, and I didn't play Wukong, the Black Myth. Maybe if I played that, I'd be like, Space Marine is garbage. You know, some people are saying that it's an incredible game, but you know, I don't know. It's hard to say, man. It's hard to say because we didn't play everything. Balatro is great, but I think Deep Rock Survivor is way better than Balatro.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, maybe not all DLC is made the same, and not all early access titles are made the same either.
Yeah.
Maybe DRG Survivor did get snubbed. Space Marine, I forget what it's nominated for, but it is in a couple categories for some sort of awards. So at least it's there somewhere. But yeah, I don't know. The Game of the Year typically doesn't have. It often has games that I don't play just because they're not available on PC. So I always feel like, we could have swapped this out. But then like 80% of the world obviously disagrees with me because, they play on console, which is all good.
I do like that they they have different genres in there. It seems like they mixed up the genres a good bit for the game of the year.
Yeah,
which is nice.
I think Blatcher is going to clean up, dude. It's like DLC of the game you played, AAA game that is kind of like a game you've already played, and then it's like Balatro, the game you're actually fucking addicted to. All these judges are addicted to, for sure. These game journalists, they're playing Balatro on their phone on Steam when they're supposed to be writing, like in between whatever stressful days they've had. So I think Balatro is going to clean up, and it's not just in Game of the Year category either. It's in a couple other categories too. So we might see Balatro sweep. That would be cool.
Bobby, give it a shot off of my account.
I might. I'm kind of scared too. Given how addictive it's like a Factorio thing. Like, I don't know if I want to go down that
rabbit hole. Yeah.
Rabbit hole, but yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
All right. That's
what
our
are we
question.
Play next week?
I want to play more Mass Effect. I would love to get to the second Mass. I don't know how much time I'm going to have. Maybe that's a crazy goal, but I would love to get to the second Mass Effect by the end of next week.
You start work Monday?
Yeah, on Monday. Yeah, but I'm already like 25 hours into Mass Effect 1. So
okay.
I think I'm a decent way through, but yeah.
Yeah, just stay on the main quest, man.
Okay, don't get distracted. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Bells and whistles, man.
Yeah, and I remember the first game being a little long. I spent more time on that game than the other two. That one was a little bit longer, and it kind of stretched it out a little bit, but yeah, it gets good. I'm going to be playing more Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, but I'm also going to check out Core Keeper this week.
I'm still having a good time with Dead Island. I'm playing, I probably put in 7 hours this week, which is huge for me. So yeah, I'm surprised of how much I'm enjoying it, actually. But until next week, that's it for us. Speaking for Christian, Bobby, and myself, massive titties, Mass Effect titties.
Oh,
this is Saren's theme song from Mass Effect 1.
Nice. Ooh, big bad guy.